In the world we live in today, everyone is talking about balance. Balance your work and your life. Balance your time. Balance your emotions. The idea sounds comforting. A peaceful life where everything fits neatly into place. But here's the truth: few are willing to admit balance is often the enemy of progress. You don't need balance. You need focus. Because when you aim for balance, you divide your strength. But when you aim for focus, you multiply your impact. Think about it. Every person who has ever done something extraordinary, every name we remember, every legacy that lasts, came not from a life of balance, but from a life of focus. Steve Jobs didn't live a balanced life. He was obsessed with innovation. Muhammad Ali didn't balance boxing with hobbies. He was consumed by the pursuit of greatness. Elon Musk didn't build SpaceX and Tesla by maintaining balance. He built them through relentless focus. Balance sounds nice, but focus changes the world. Balance says, give everything equal attention. Focus says, give your best to what matters most. Balance tells you to juggle. Focus tells you to aim. One scatters your energy. The other sharpens it. The truth is, you can't master anything while dividing your attention between everything. You can't chase multiple goals and expect to achieve excellence in all. Excellence demands sacrifice. It demands saying no to the many, so you can say yes to the one that defines you. Most people fail not because they lack talent or opportunity, but because they are spread too thin. They try to balance too many things, too many projects, too many opinions, too many fears. And in doing so, they lose their edge. They forget that focus is the art of exclusion, the ability to shut out everything that doesn't align with your purpose. You can't do big things with small focus. You can't reach your potential if your attention is scattered. Focus is not about doing more. It's about doing less better. It's about identifying what truly matters and giving it the energy it deserves. You don't grow by doing everything. You grow by doing the right things, with intention, with discipline, and with persistence. Balance may give you comfort, but focus gives you clarity, and clarity is power. When you focus, you ignite something powerful inside you. Your mind becomes sharper. Your actions become aligned. Your progress accelerates. You stop chasing distractions and start creating direction. Focus doesn't just change your productivity. It transforms your identity. Because when you know what you're chasing, everything else starts to fall in place. Let's be honest. Balance is often an illusion. People say they want balance, but what they really mean is that they want peace. They want to feel in control. But peace doesn't come from balance, it comes from purpose. When you are focused on something meaningful, when your heart and mind are aligned with a vision that drives you, you find peace in the pursuit, not in the pause. You don't need to balance everything equally. You need to prioritize what's essential. You need to find your one thing. The thing that moves the needle, the thing that gives meaning to your struggle. Because once you find that, you'll realize that balance is overrated. The people who achieve greatness in any area, art, business, sports, leadership, they live unbalanced lives. They give everything to their vision. They burn with focus. And that's what separates them from the rest. We've been conditioned to believe that being busy equals being productive. That if you're juggling multiple things at once, you're doing well. But the truth is, multitasking destroys focus. It divides your mind and dilutes your energy. You might feel like you're accomplishing a lot, but in reality, you're just spinning in circles. True productivity comes from single-minded attention, from diving deep into one task, one goal, one mission at a time. Let me remind you, you are not meant to do everything. You are meant to do something meaningful. You don't have to please everyone. You don't have to chase every opportunity. You don't have to say yes to every demand. The most successful people in history mastered the art of saying no. They protected their focus like it was treasure. Because it is. Every day, your focus is being fought for. The world is full of distractions, notifications, noise, opinions, temptations. The average person loses hours each day to meaningless activity. Not because they lack discipline, but because they lack focus. They haven't learned to protect their attention. If you don't control your focus, something else will. That's why you need to build mental discipline. The ability to stay centered on what truly matters, even when everything around you is screaming for attention. Discipline and focus go hand in hand. Discipline keeps you from drifting. Focus keeps you from drowning in distractions. Together, they make you unstoppable. Now, some will say, but I want balance in my relationships, my career, my health, and my happiness. Of course, all those things matter. But the truth is, they can't all have equal weight at the same time. There are seasons in life. Seasons for building, seasons for resting, seasons for growing, seasons for giving. Balance doesn't mean doing everything at once. It means knowing what season you're in and focusing on what that season demands. When you're building your dream, you might have to sacrifice social time. When you're chasing your goals, you might have to say no to comfort. When you're growing your business, you might have to skip some pleasures. That's not imbalance. That's focus. That's what every champion understands. Focus is the difference between average and exceptional, between wishing and achieving, between living reactively and living intentionally. The focused person doesn't just go with the flow. They create the flow. They move with purpose. They wake up knowing exactly why they're doing what they're doing. And because of that, they get results that the balanced, distracted person never will. Let's face it, balance feels safe. Focus feels risky. Because focus demands commitment. When you focus, you're saying, this is my path. This is my vision. You're burning the boats. You're all in. That's scary to some people. But that's also what separates the dreamers from the doers. Balance gives you options. Focus gives you outcomes. Ask yourself, what's stealing your focus right now? What distractions are pulling you away from your purpose? Every scroll, every meaningless conversation, every unimportant task, they all drain your energy from what truly matters. Your life is a reflection of where your focus goes. If your focus is scattered, so will be your results. But if your focus is sharp, your results will be powerful. Focus creates momentum, and momentum creates miracles. When you lock in on your vision with laser, like clarity, life starts aligning in your favor. People, opportunities, and ideas begin to flow your way, because the universe responds to clarity. It rewards the person who knows what they want and refuses to be distracted. Remember, success is not about doing everything. It's about doing what counts. Don't let the illusion of balance rob you of the power of focus. Don't chase 10 things halfway. Chase one thing all the way. Because mastery lies in depth, not in width. If you want to transform your life, start by simplifying it. Cut out the noise. Eliminate the unnecessary. Stop trying to balance it all and start focusing on what truly drives you. Every hour spent on distractions is an hour stolen from your destiny. Every moment of focus moves you closer to greatness. You don't need a perfectly balanced life. You need a purpose-driven life. You need focus that's fierce, unwavering, unstoppable. Because focus is the seed of mastery. It's the foundation of success. It's the difference between those who dream and those who do. Imagine what you could achieve if you stopped trying to balance everything and instead focused all your energy in one direction. Imagine the power of your potential if it was fully aligned with your purpose. Imagine the life you could build if you gave your all to one mission that truly matters to you. That's what focus gives you, the ability to turn imagination into reality. So, the next time someone tells you to find balance, smile and then focus. Focus on becoming better. Focus on what brings meaning to your life. Focus on the work that sets your soul on fire. Because in the end, balance might make you feel safe, but focus will make you legendary. Don't be afraid to live unbalanced for a season, if it means living fulfilled for a lifetime. Don't be afraid to give your all to your vision, because your dream deserves your full attention. You don't need balance. You need focus. And when you focus, the world shifts. The noise fades. The path clears. Your mind sharpens. Your purpose strengthens. You stop chasing everything, and you start becoming something. That's when transformation begins. That's when progress turns into power. Because in the end, greatness doesn't come from balance. It comes from obsession, discipline, and clarity. You don't need to do more. You need to do what matters most. Focus is not just a habit. It's a mindset. It's a commitment to excellence. It's the courage to say no to comfort and yes to calling. So today, make a decision, not to balance, but to focus. Focus on your dream. Focus on your purpose. Focus on the process. And watch how the world makes room for the person who refuses to be distracted. Because in this life, balance is overrated, but focus is unstoppable. And once you learn to live with focus, you won't just chase success. You'll create it. You won't just dream. You'll do. You won't just exist. You'll evolve. The pursuit of balance often leads to mediocrity, while focus creates mastery. True success doesn't come from spreading yourself evenly across everything, but from giving your full attention to what truly matters. Let's take a deeper look at that truth. Because on the surface, balance sounds like wisdom. It sounds fair. It sounds reasonable. But in practice, balance often becomes the excuse for never going all in. We tell ourselves, I need balance, when what we really mean is, I don't want to commit too deeply to one thing. But commitment, deep, focused, relentless commitment, is the birthplace of greatness. When you chase balance, you try to give everything an equal portion of your time, your effort, and your energy. But the problem is, not everything in your life deserves equal weight. Some things are essential. Others are optional. Some things build you. Others drain you. Balance treats them the same. Focus separates them. Think about it. No one ever became a master at anything by doing everything halfway. The artist who balances painting with endless distractions never creates a masterpiece. The athlete who balances training with laziness never wins a championship. The entrepreneur who balances ambition with comfort never builds an empire. Balance spreads you thin. Focus makes you sharp. Mediocrity hides behind the mask of balance. It whispers, don't go too far. Don't push too hard. Don't sacrifice too much. But mastery speaks another language. It says, if you want to be great, you must be willing to go deep. to give more than what's comfortable, to devote yourself completely. You see, focus is intensity with direction. It's taking all that scattered energy and aiming it like a laser. It's understanding that your time is limited and that every moment spent on something meaningless is a moment stolen from something that could change your life. Most people never reach their potential not because they lack ability, but because they spread themselves too wide. They chase too many goals at once. They want to be everything to everyone. They want to balance passion with pleasure, ambition with comfort, growth with ease. But life doesn't reward balance. It rewards clarity. It rewards the person who knows what they want and has the courage to give it everything. When you focus, you begin to build momentum, and momentum compounds. It takes small, consistent effort in one direction and turns it into extraordinary results. Focus is what turns ordinary people into experts, dreamers into doers, and effort into excellence. So, ask yourself, are you pursuing balance because it's wise or because it's safe? Are you dividing your energy because you're managing your life or because you're afraid to commit? The truth is, balance makes you comfortable, but focus makes you powerful. Balance keeps you in control, but focus sets you free. Because when you give yourself fully to what truly matters, when you pour your heart, your energy, and your time into one meaningful pursuit, everything else starts to align. That's the paradox of focus. The moment you stop trying to balance everything, your life actually begins to find harmony. Why? Because focus brings clarity, and clarity brings peace. You no longer waste energy on what doesn't matter. You stop scattering your soul and start channeling it. You stop living by reaction and start living by intention. Balance is about maintaining. Focus is about mastering. And if you want to live an extraordinary life, mastery must be your goal. So don't chase balance. Don't settle for average. Chase mastery through focus. Because the world doesn't remember the balanced. It remembers the bold, the obsessed, and the focused. Balance is about comfort, but focus is about progress. When you channel your energy into one direction, you turn potential into power and dreams into reality. Balance feels safe. It keeps you in a zone where everything is controlled, predictable, and calm. It tells you, don't overdo it. Don't stretch too far. Don't risk too much. And while that may protect you from burnout, it can also protect you from breakthrough. Because progress doesn't live in comfort. It lives in challenge, in growth, in the fire of focus. When you're balanced, you move at a steady, manageable pace. But when you're focused, you move with purpose. You stop drifting and start driving. Balance is about maintaining what you have. Focus is about multiplying what you're capable of. Balance is standing still in the middle. Focus is moving fiercely toward the edge of what's possible. Think about the people who have achieved greatness in any field. Athletes, artists, leaders, inventors, thinkers. None of them lived balanced lives during their rise. They lived focused lives. They gave themselves permission to be consumed by their vision. They knew that progress doesn't come from spreading your energy evenly. It comes from pouring it intensely in one direction. When you channel your energy toward one goal, something extraordinary happens. Your effort compounds. Your mind sharpens. Your actions align. Every small decision begins to serve one larger purpose. The noise fades, and your path becomes clear. You stop wasting time switching between tasks that don't connect, and you start building momentum that pushes you forward with unstoppable force. That's the power of focus. It converts potential into performance. It transforms "I could" into "I did." It turns energy into execution and dreams into destiny. Because focus gives direction to your potential. You can have incredible talent, deep passion, and endless ideas. But if your energy is scattered, your results will always be small. Focus gathers all of that scattered power and points it like an arrow at your target. Balance tells you to manage your time. Focus tells you to master your mission. Balance says, do a little of everything. Focus says, do what matters most and do it completely. Balance is horizontal. It spreads out. Focus is vertical. It digs deep. One keeps you busy. The other makes you brilliant. Comfort is not your calling, growth is. And growth requires focus. Growth requires sacrifice. Growth requires the courage to say no to what's easy, so you can say yes to what's essential. When you focus, you trade temporary comfort for long-term power. You stop chasing distractions and start creating direction. You see, balance often keeps people stuck in maintenance mode. They're surviving, not thriving. But focus pulls you into movement. It demands progress. It forces evolution. And in that process of pushing forward, you begin to discover who you really are and what you're truly capable of. When you channel your energy in one direction, when you decide that one mission, one dream, one goal deserves your full attention, the universe starts to respond. Opportunities begin to appear. People start to notice. Results begin to show. Because energy, when concentrated, becomes unstoppable. It becomes power. Every great accomplishment in history came from someone who chose focus over balance. Someone who decided to give their all to one cause, one idea, one pursuit, until it came alive. They understood that comfort keeps you the same, but focus makes you evolve. So, yes, balance might give you peace, but focus gives you progress. And progress is where fulfillment lives. Because when you see your efforts turning into achievement, your vision turning into reality, and your potential transforming into power, that's when life stops being ordinary and starts being meaningful. We live in a world that glorifies balance. A world that tells you that if you're not giving equal attention to every part of your life, you're doing something wrong. But let's be honest, no one can balance everything perfectly. You can't give 100% to your family, 100% to your career, and 100% to your health, 100% to your dreams, all at the same time. That's not balance. That's burnout disguised as effort. The truth is, life is not meant to be balanced equally. It's meant to be lived intentionally. There will be seasons where your focus shifts, times when your mission demands more of you, moments when your purpose requires sacrifice. And that's okay. That's not imbalance, that's alignment. That's you choosing to give your best energy to what matters most right now. When you try to balance everything, you end up halfway into your goals, halfway into your relationships, halfway into your growth. You become a juggler of priorities instead of a master of purpose. But when you focus, truly focus, you bring depth to what you do. You give meaning to your actions. You stop living scattered and start living strong. Juggling keeps you busy. Committing makes you brilliant. Because focus is where mastery is born. You can't master anything if you're constantly shifting your attention. You can't build something lasting if you're always splitting your energy between too many things. The world doesn't reward the one who dabbles. It rewards the one who devotes. Look at anyone who has achieved greatness. A visionary, an athlete, an artist, an inventor, a leader. None of them were juggling everything equally. They weren't balanced, they were driven. They gave themselves fully to one mission. And through that focus, they changed the world. Michelangelo didn't balance painting with 20 other hobbies. Serena Williams didn't balance tennis with a dozen other sports. Nelson Mandela didn't balance his fight for justice with comfort and convenience. They all committed, and that commitment created greatness. You see, balance can make you feel in control, but focus makes you powerful. Balance is about maintaining multiple things. Focus is about magnifying one thing. Balance asks, how can I keep everything steady? Focus asks, what can I give my all to today? And that single question, that shift in mindset, changes everything. Your mission deserves more than a fraction of your attention. Your purpose deserves more than what's left over at the end of the day. Your growth deserves more than quick moments between distractions. If you want to rise above average, if you want to make your life mean something, you have to commit fully, fiercely, fearlessly. Commitment means sacrifice, and that's what most people avoid. It means saying no to some good things so you can say yes to the great thing. It means choosing depth over width. It means letting go of the illusion that you can do it all and embracing the truth that you can do what matters most exceptionally well. Don't fall for the myth that balance equals happiness. Balance can keep you safe, but it can also keep you small. Commitment, on the other hand, demands courage. It stretches you, it challenges you, it forces you to grow. And in that process, you find fulfillment. Not because life is perfectly balanced, but because it's purposefully lived. Your mission is not to be everywhere. It's to be effective where you are. Your purpose is not to please everyone. It's to pursue what sets your soul on fire. Your growth is not measured by how well you juggle, but by how deeply you commit. When you focus deeply on your mission, distractions lose their power. When you commit to your purpose, fear begins to fade. And when you prioritize your growth, success becomes inevitable. Because focus builds momentum, and momentum builds greatness. So don't aim for perfect balance. Aim for powerful focus. Aim for complete commitment. Because the truth is, greatness doesn't come from having everything in harmony. It comes from having one thing that matters so much. You're willing to give it everything. You don't need to balance your life like a scale. You need to build your life like a masterpiece, one brushstroke of focus at a time. Every ounce of effort, every late night, every act of dedication adds to the bigger picture of who you're becoming. Remember this: those who chase balance live comfortably, but those who chase focus live memorably. Balance might help you survive, but focus will help you thrive. You don't need to juggle your life perfectly. You just need to commit passionately to the purpose that gives your life meaning. Because greatness isn't born from doing it all. It's born from doing what matters with everything you've got.